Russell Westbrook was a surprising attendee at Darvin Ham's introductory press conference in LA on Monday. Now, ESPN reporting the Lakers point guard has expressed, quote, tremendous enthusiasm for the hiring of the first-time head coach, and he appreciates Ham's no-nonsense approach. Well, certainly a new era in Lakerland. Shannon, do you view Russ's reaction as good news or bad news?
Bad news if it means he's going to be on the team. I just want Russ to have a fresh start. I want Russ to go somewhere where he's not under the scrutiny of being on a championship contending team where the expectations aren't high and every possession is micromanaged. He needs to go somewhere where he can just be free-flowing. If he turns the ball over 10 times, nobody mentions it and nobody cares. That's what he needs. I think the Lakers will be better off. They'll be better off apart than they would be together. That's what I hope. So for me, and I think the draft still hasn't happened yet. I think the draft is a great time. The summer is, free agency is coming up in basketball. I think they're still looking at options to possibly move him, although I do understand it's going to probably be very difficult considering $47.1 million price tag in which Russell Westbrook is owed. So for me, we rushed up, I heard Woj said, he likes the fact that Darvin Ham's going to hold people accountable. Russ never accepted really any accountability. It was Frank Vogel's fault. It was always somebody else's fault. So he needs to go somewhere. I want him to get somewhere where he can play his style brand of basketball that's not conducive for winning a championship, but it will produce big numbers, highlights, and everybody can say, well, see, I told you there was nothing wrong with Russ. And there isn't anything wrong with Russ. It's just that when you try to win a championship, that style of basketball will not get it done.
Shannon Sharp, I have more bad news for you and Laker Nation. It's pretty apparent he's going to be a Laker next year. And I laughed and laughed when I heard the Woj report, not at Woj, but just at what he was reporting, because it came across it felt like to me like the Lakers need to win Russ back over. That's how it came across, like, he's so enthusiastic. What? What? Like, they went out and got just the coach that he wanted, Darvin Ham, who's whispering sweet nothings in Russ's ear, and here we go. Because
he's taking magic advice, taking him to dinner, taking him to lunch or something.
Right. And I'm laughing because the last thing this team needs to do is win him back over. He needs to win them back over at the very least.
Right.
And then the Woj report also included it's not known for sure whether he's going to opt back in because it's his choice.
Man,
Stop it.
Thank you.
And again, I'm not taking a shot at Woj. I'm just saying that's the Lakers are still making it clear. Well, he hasn't opted back in yet for his $47 million. Want to bet?
Of course. He knows he's not getting $47 million. Nobody giving Russ no $47 million. Come on, man. Stop this.
You wouldn't give him $5 for what he did.
He wouldn't get $20 million.
No, seriously. He couldn't get more than veteran minimum.
Right.
He got exposed, although a lot of NBA people I know kept saying, it's the same guy. He was playing with Durant. The same guy. He was playing with Harden. Right. Same guy who was in Washington. Mm-hmm. He's just in the spotlight. He's in your crosshairs every day on this show.
Thank you.
And it became a comedy act of turnovers and missed threes, and he was the worst three-point shooter in basketball, and he's the fourth worst free throw shooter in basketball, and much of the year he led the NBA in turnovers. And they weren't just common variety garden turnovers. They were outrageously bad turnovers.
They were very high schoolish, jumping up in the air with nowhere to go with the basketball and then throwing it off out of bounds or bouncing it off somebody else's head. and that's the thing, though, Skip. And the thing is that instead of saying, you know what, guys, I played bad tonight, don't say I can play bad. Everybody else plays bad. Everybody else missed shot. Nobody wants to hear that. Just take accountability for what you've done. I didn't play. Tonight wasn't one of those nights. I didn't shoot the ball well. I turned the ball over entirely too much. But, hey, I'll go back, look at the tape, see what I did. All he wants to say is that, everybody else, I'm allowed to take a bad shot. I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed. Bruh, Laker Nation is not trying to hear what you think you are allowed to do.
Yeah.
Andre Drummond said it best. It's a different animal putting that purple and gold on than any other uniform because they will tell you whether you're worthy or not of wearing it because of the expectation and the greatness of the players that they've had to wear that jersey. You think because you were great over there, and LeBron had to find that out the hard way.
He did.
LeBron, think about what LeBron accomplished. No other player had come to the Lakers being as accomplished as LeBron, and they say, we don't care. You haven't done anything for us. And every billboard or mirror that they tried to put up, they defaced it.
They did.
No, sir. Until you do something in the purple and gold, it means nothing. So no matter how many, he could have had 15 seasons with you triple-double. He didn't get any of those, and he didn't help the Lakers win a championship. The Laker fans define success and greatness as championships. So I don't care if you're a top 75 player. If you don't help them win a title, they will let you know, and I don't care if you were born by the Staples Centers. You could have been born in the Staples Center. You don't help them win a title, they got no use for you. It's as simple as that, Skip. I wish there was another way around it, but that's the way it is in Lakerland.
That's the truth. Them are the facts. And yet the other fact is Russ can be pretty delusional when it comes to his greatness or lack thereof. And it was amusing to me when we see the video of him walking into the press conference for Darvin Ham. He looks proud as a peacock, man. His chest's out, and it looks like his body language is saying, they went and got me the coach I wanted and needed. Now here we go.
Right.
Now my year 2 will be the kind of year that I envisioned taking over at point guard for the Lakers I grew up living for.
Well, Darvin Ham said, hey, I need Russ to get back to Russ and being without the ball, playing top defense. When Russ play defense?
Yeah.
When was that? I missed those years.
No, I don't know. I wonder what Russ thought when he heard those comments at this press conference.
Man, look, I get why Darvin Ham said what he said, Skip, because all the indications are pointing towards the arrow is Russ is going to be here. So I've got to say all these things, but it's going to be...
It still sounds like the mandate when he was hired was you need to fix him because he's going to be here whether you like it or not.
Man, after 15, 16 years, how you fix something that's been broken that long?
Can't, and you won't.
Heck of a challenge, that's for sure.
Don't ask me for any
All right, guys,
no dues this year.
How important do you think these finals are to Steph's legacy back to Game 4 in the NBA Finals? Chris Broussard started to talk about that a second ago. Now, Skip, you have a fabulous podcast. And this week, you were talking about KD's choice to join Golden State and that it saved Steph's legacy, but wrecked LeBron's. Skip said if KD had stayed in OKC, LeBron would be 6-4 in the finals instead of 4-6. Some really interesting arguments. Shannon, dive in here with me. Do you agree or disagree with Skip's premises?
I don't agree. I agree that we might be looking at It didn't wreck LeBron's legacy. I mean, LeBron James is 4-6, yes, but he still has 4 MVPs. He's still on the cusp of being the all-time leading scorer. He's an 18-time All-Star. He's a 17, 18-time All-NBA player. I don't think LeBron's legacy is wrecked. I do think probably a lot more people would look at him, and some will say, well, then he would have a more compelling argument for being the GOAT, being the GOAT, although I believe that he is based on total body of work. But I don't believe that it wrecked his legacy. Now, could it possibly have helped? Yeah, we would view Steph totally different as opposed to being 3-1 against LeBron if he's 1-3 against LeBron. Because that's what he's holding on. He's in LeBron's era, and he says, well, I have a 3-1 finals record against LeBron James. So you're 3-1? 2015, 16? Yeah, 3-1. He won 3 with KD.
Yep.
So he says, I have a 3-1. And everybody says that. So you're right. We would look at Steph Curry differently, Skip. Because if he's 1-3 in the finals, even with those 2 MVPs, we're looking at him different. Absolutely. You make a very compelling case. I do not believe that it wrecked it because if you look at it, they're not beating. That's why he got on that plane with Clay and Myers and Steve Kerr and Draymond. This is what KD averaged in the NBA in 2017 finals. Kyrie averaged 29 a game. He had 38 in game 3. He had 40 in game 4. LeBron James had 34, 12, and 10, and they lost in 5. That's what he averaged for the series.
Yep.
That's what he averaged for the series. and they lost in 5. So without KD, they're going to get the brakes beat off them. And they knew that. That's why they went and got KD after 2016. They were never going to beat Kyrie and LeBron again.
Never. Agreed.
And they knew that.
They
can get on there and Draymond can have his podcast and he does a great job. And Steph can say LeBron was whining and all that he wants to. But that's why they went and got Kevin Durant. Because they needed an equalizer. Someone that can say, you know what, go get a bucket. We can drop the ball down to you and you can get a bucket. They weren't going to beat him again. So, yes, it changed the way we view Steph Curry. We would look at him totally different. With those 2 MVPs, he won those in the regular season. But it's the 3-1 record that he has against LeBron